Hello, I'm Robert Estrin here at virtualsheetmusic.com and livingpianos.com with the first of a four-part series, Periods of Music. Today we're going to explore the Baroque period, which is roughly from, Bach's life was from 1685 to 1750. The Baroque started before that, but he was definitely right there in the mainstream. So what is it about Baroque music that identifies the style? Well, Baroque, just like architecture and art, is very ornate. It's a lot of different textures. The music is very linear, so you have different lines of music that go together. One of the paramount musical forms is the fugue, where you have a subject and a counter subject and they intertwine in beautiful ways. So it's very important with the music of Bach and other Baroque composers to not favor the top line like you do in Romantic period music. The melody is, typically on top or the bottom, and you play everything else quietly. Not so with Baroque music. With Baroque music, it's more like a tapestry of sounds. I'm going to play a little bit of the French suite, the Fifth French suite of Bach, and notice how, even though there is a melody on top, I let all the voices pretty much be equal. The other thing that's vital is to keep a very steady beat. There's no give and take like you have in other period styles. You want to be very clear so you can hear the lines. The counterpoint must come through. A minimal of pedal on the piano, and when you're playing with other instruments, articulation is vital to getting the proper sound and style. So here's a little Bach, the Fifth French suite. So without favoring the top line too much, to be able to hear all the inner lines. Now I talked about the fact that it's a very ornamented style. Well, there is actually ornamentation, where you get to add trills and mordents and turns, and to an extent you can be quite free with them. In other words, these are improvisational elements. So for example, at the beginning, some of the ornaments are marked, some you can play on your own to fancy up, particularly in this French suite where all the sections are repeated. You could choose to, for example, play different ornamentation on the repeat for variety. But at the very beginning, for example, you have a trill. Now these notes, they're not written out. There's just an indication to play with a trill. So you could play it differently. You could choose to play it or. Isn't that wonderful to be able to impart your own tonality and your own little trademark sounds? So the important things, once again with Baroque music, clarity of line. Don't get carried away with doing too much with the tempo. Keep things very regular and structured. Allow for the ornamentation to be an expressive element, and you should be able to play beautiful Baroque music with clarity and counterpoint. Thanks so much for joining me. Remember to tune in for the future series for the other styles of music: classical music, period, romantic, and impressionist. Thanks for joining me, Robert Estrin, here at virtualsheetmusic.com and livingpianos.com.